Good evening and welcome back to another Valkyrie flight. I'm your host, Dungeon Master, and all-round nerd Bazag. And we've already introduced our players, so let's jump into the situation right now and see where we left off.
Let's
So,
introduce the dungeon, everybody.
yes, introduce the dungeon. So after...
Which we're no longer on.
Oh, well, we'll not quite left yet. Not quite. So after trying to confront Section 31 agent, only known as Keegan, quote unquote, I'm doing the air quotes, but you can't see that. The crew of the Valkyrie get a task informing them that basically a secret Section 31 base had been a lockdown had been triggered at it, even though it was meant to be abandoned. So, and the name Pelus was thrown around as, well, we know that Pelus has triggered it. So, after exploring and piercing through the shield, going through the cargo bay with killer duffing grabby hand robots, and into this lovely lab we see before us, the electroshock that has permeated basically every piece of equipment, which has now been all shut down, the lockdown has been deactivated, and everything is in a state of stable calm. Only to find out that not only was Commander Bells there, but his entire family, wife and 3 children, which took everyone a bit by surprise. So after Safan did actually quite a really good job of dealing with kids, which is personally a bit surprising. That's where we left off. So right now, Ruvak, as he's introduced himself as his first name, jumps in and says, "Well, speaking of your Romulan family, I actually have some information regarding that which you might like. I will make myself available at your convenience to discuss that, Commander." He says,
Recap that for me. Just basically offering.
Basically offering information about the Romulan side of your family.
Interesting. Okay.
Doubt.
And he adds with it, and your maternal grandmother, what she was up to.
Safan just raises an eyebrow. I find the proposition fascinating, but do believe that there will be a better time to hold this discussion.
As I said, at your convenience. In the meantime, we do have some possessions of ours that we have been separated from, I believe, in the cargo bay.
Did we put holes in them in the last session?
No. The robots had stuck things up on like these shelves, like 3 smaller bags, three larger bags, and a few other things. But the robots were trying to grab you, not the stuff. So everything there was fine. You talk about the robots, not the shelves.
All right, I believe the floor is yours because I'm not there.
I thought everyone was in the room.
We're all in the lab.
Yeah, we're waiting for Safan to bring the family over.
Well, everyone's in. Sorry,
they're all here.
everyone should
They're
be
all
in the
there.
lab.
That happened
Right,
at the
sorry.
end of last week.
Sorry, it's been a while.
It has. True story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go ahead and collect your things, and let's try to get everybody back on board the runabout. I'm going to go ahead and tap my communicator. Captain of Valkyrie?
Captain, good to hear you. We would just received notification that signals were back up. We do have a lock on you and 5 Romulans.
Mm-hmm. We do have an injured crew member inside the runabout. See if we can beam him over to sickbay. For now, I think we're just going to take the runabout back.
Very well. I should tell you, we do now have an urgent communication from Delphi, a diplomatic communication that is waiting for you when you return.
When I return. Right.
Valkyrie out.
Mm-hmm. And Ted just rolls his eyes at the news of an urgent communication from Delphi.
Mazaka sees us and is just like, you want me to bring this good stuff up?
Perhaps I could conduct an unscheduled training exercise that would delay the runabout's return to the ship.
We're still on mission, people. Focus. All right.
Okay, so I'm going to use a bit of threat right now.
Oh, fuck.
2 threat, and up on one of the center circular console, a holographic image of everyone's favorite Section 31 agent appears.
Elusive man.
Keegan, played by Martin Sheen.
There we go. I'm looking at the exact
Now we just got to introduce Martin Sheen into the call.
Don't you tease me like that.
No, it's okay. We were able to get Emilio Estevez.
Okay, so Captain, Commander, how pleasant it is to see you again.
Keegan, I was hoping I wanted to see your sorry face for a while.
Well, I actually have a proposal for the former Tal Shair agent, if you're willing to listen, Pelus. Pelus, looks at you sort of quizzical, then back at Keegan. Pause.
I make a sideways glance over to Mzaka.
I see it, and then I look at Palace and go, Palace, how do you feel about the Tal Shair?
I'm going to start tracing the signal.
Yeah.
I would like to help.
Yeah, please, somebody trace.
Okay, can I get someone to... let's go, since our communications officer is right there, could I get him to do a... go for reason science?
In that case,
Yeah.
I'd like to assist.
And you can assist with a... Let's go reason security for you.
Okay.
Alright, would my security systems or computer security come
I
into play
am
here?
going to
Or-
allow a focus to apply here.
Espionage for me?
I will allow espionage, yes.
Okay.
And then does Palace respond to my question?
Yeah, so, well, that's happening. Pelus does... Well, I'm not on the best term with them. Why?
I think I will,
I meant ideologically.
You're gonna spend. Does your character have determination?
He does. His value is, you think my job is easy? Try interpreting a Klingon with a call.
Okay, reroll. I was a long-standing member of the...
Oh damn!
Oh, damn shit.
That's 6.
Yeah, that is.
Okay, so I'm going to do another threat. Spend another 2 threat. You get to Earth. You look down on Earth, but there is some signaling, like routing that's double backing on itself, and it's sort of confusing the system. So you know it's on Earth, but you're not sure where.
Behind 5 firewalls.
And not that it would be any use, because as soon as he gets off the line, he's going to go somewhere else.
Basically.
But
True.
you do get 3 momentum from that.
Ooh.
I just kind of look at Pelus and go, look, this guy's no different than your Tal Shair used to be.
Some might argue he's worse.
So while you're doing that, Lustos, can I get you to do a let's go presence command check, difficulty 2.
Okay. Do any of my focuses apply here?
Do you have a focus in relation to reading minds?
I do not have a focus in related to reading minds, but I think I have a. Do I have a?
You're Betazoid, right?
Yeah, no. So linguistics, sensory operations, security systems, computer security. You don't have a.
Yeah, but they have to be trained in order to use it specifically. I mean, there's surface thoughts, but it's like, blocking, stuff like that. Mental defenses.
All right, so this is just a well, I said difficulty 3, I think. No,
I
that's
said
difficulty
no.
2. Difficulty 2, command presence with no focus.
All right.
Momentum time?
Nice. God
Okay,
damn.
so another momentum. You do get that, as he mentions that, you see a slight eye shift, and his surface thoughts are thinking about, well, this looks pretty bad in terms of, a quarantine scientific research station. He's aware of the very security, like the robots and the electrician. This is not only not standard Federation, but not standard intelligence for the Federation. So this is very much uneasy. I think that's the best word about this location. And he seems to have connected that that this Keegan is somehow connected to it. So yeah, well, if I joined the Tal Shair for my people, but I am not Federation. I am not the person you want me to be, Keegan. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to decline. He says it with a bit of a harsh tone, but like a hardened facial expression as well.
I just quip. Some could argue Keegan isn't Federation either.
And Keegan. Oh well, too bad. I had hoped this would be a much better way for you to get back at the Tal Shair, considering how they treated you and so forth. But
I pull out my phaser and shoot the console to stop the freaking hologram because I'm tired of hearing voice.
Okay. Do a control security check.
Yeah.
Use momentum if you need to.
Difficulty's 2, right?
Yeah, it's a
Difficulty
range
is
attack.
2, yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna take 1 just to be on the safe side.
Okay. Okay, roll for damage.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Okay, I'm gonna say that does enough damage that the console breaks down. But behind the desk, in one of the main screens, you see a countdown timer. It has 3 minutes on it.
Son of a bitch, I knew it. Are the shields up?
Shields are down.
Alright.
I mean, it's not gonna take us 3 minutes to run to the runabout and fly away really, really fast.
No, we're doing beam out.
Okay.
I'm hailing the Valkyrie.
A Valkyrie here.
Valkyrie, we're gonna need a beam out for everybody on board the station. Contact Commander Holt and tell her to disengage from the station immediately.
Acknowledge, Captain.
Beam us out.
Okay,
I guess that'd be time for Ankaro to do his first roll.
Yep.
Alright. Any increased difficulty on this?
I'm gonna say no.
I'm still gonna take an extra die.
So this
because
is a difficulty 2 roll.
Yeah. Still taking an extra.
what did I miss?
We
I shot
declined
the-
Keegan's offer, and he set the station to self-destruct.
Booyah!
Okay, so you get 2 momentum. And you all dematerialize out of the station and rematerialize one of the Valkyrie's crew transporters, because there's the 5 Romulans and the away team. It wasn't quite enough for one of the standard
Yeah.
standard transporter rooms, but for the larger transporter rooms, this was
This is the troop transporters being used.
yeah. So right now, no
Captain-
one is there to actually meet you because this was
Captain
all
the bridge.
done short notice. RSC Captain, you on board?
Yeah, shields up. Pull everyone away from the station immediately.
This is what I was trying to warn you about.
Well, he is certainly efficient. There's sort of a grimace there as well.
Captain, if you wish to preserve the installation, a targeted phaser shot to the power plant may be able to preserve most of the structure.
I don't wish to preserve it.
Very well.
All right, so I'm not going to make Alvarado roll, but the Valkyrie and Commander Holt shuttle.
The
move
Irma.
away. The Irma moves away, and within a few minutes, you see this as the station self-detonates. The asteroid that was on shatters into about 3 main pieces, and it sort of just melds into the into the rest of the asteroid belt.
Commander Safan, let's see what we can do about getting our guests some VIP quarters.
Would you like them confined to those quarters, Captain?
Not for the moment, but we are going to have some discussions about privileges while on board.
Very well. I will see to it.
Mm-hmm.
Captain, I would also like to discuss what your final plans are. Honestly, I
Could
don't
you
particularly trust the Starfleet intelligence right now. But
That
if you
man
have-
was not Starfleet intelligence.
Either way, if Starfleet intelligence were to get their hands on me, I'm sure that to prevent another diplomatic incident, they would eagerly hand me over in the effort to get the Romulans on the side against the Dominions.
That's not who we are.
It's in time to get your family settled, then we'll talk.
Very well. And I presume he follows Safan, who's organising the room.
I'm assuming he was also called in a polite two-person escort.
Don?
Yes, I'm here.
So two security officers are able to provide regard, just to keep an eye, as Safan leads to wherever you're setting up the VIP quarters. There doesn't seem to be any particular movement that would be deemed suspicious.
Yeah. I am going to kind of lock down the communications equipment in the quarters, though.
Oh yeah.
Just as I'm getting them settled in. Standard procedure.
Give me a reason security. Reason security.
Make it reason security?
Yeah, two. Definitely two.
All right. Espionage or observation focus apply?
I'm going to say...
Or ship lockdown procedures.
Yeah, do that. That'll definitely apply.
Okay. All right, I'm going to take a momentum just in case.
Very well.
And while he's doing that, Mazaka is typing up a list of locations that should probably be under guard, including things that would not necessarily be obvious to security and the captain.
Damn.
Okay, so you have one spare. You have one spare momentum. What do you want to do with it?
I'd like to use that and one of the momentum, like the 6th point of momentum, to basically create an advantage that the systems in the officers' quarters are effectively tamper-proof.
Okay.
Oh, we're giving them a diplomatic suite.
Yeah, with all of the diplomatic functions removed from it.
Not all of them.
They still get the fruit basket.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. And the continental breakfast.
Yeah, we're giving them foreign national guest privileges without the communications rights.
As I'm doing this, though, with the guards waiting outside, I'm going to ask. Oh, shit, what's his name again? God,
Pelus?
Thank you, Pelus. My brain is all over the place tonight. Anyway, I'm going to ask him. You said you had information about my maternal grandmother.
I do. As a former member of the Tal Shair, you get to know some information.
She was a Tal Shair agent then.
She was, but that is not the only reason why I know. But please ask any questions you have. I will answer them.
You say that is not the only reason why you know. What other reasons would you have?
She is also, well, not my grandma, but my grandfather was her brother. We are second cousins, I believe.
Fascinating.
If I were to have anyone take me down as efficiently, I am strangely glad that it was you.
Safan just kind of raises an eyebrow at this.
The Tal Shair has basically ruined our family. Your grandmother was abandoned. I've been abandoned many, and I've lost so much because of the Tal Shair. And now I'm done with it. I formally request for myself and family political refuge within the Federation.
Had you not made that request, I would have suggested it as your course of action. I will pass this along to Captain Tedesco. I believe he will react favorably.
Your crew perplexes me sometimes.
They frequently perplex me as well. They are emotional beings.
Well, for me, it's they're capable of such competence, and yet incompetence just moments later. It's hard to get a read on them sometimes.
I believe the Federation's knack for unpredictability is one of its greatest strengths.
It has certainly caused me the most difficulties while I was with the Tal Shair.
I suspect you are not the only member of the Tal Shair who has been perplexed in such a manner. And Safan just kind of gives a faint hint of a smile at that.
Yeah, so the Vulcan isn't completely without emotion.
No Vulcan is completely without emotion.
I like to imagine that Safan just takes out a frustrated by the Valkyrie club pin and slowly pins it on the Pelus'
chest. The logo is Captain Tedesco's face.
Basically.
No,
First of in Starfleet.
like with a red circle and a stripe through it.
It's the meme.
Oh, it's the approved by the first Delphinian and Starfleet meme.
Exactly, yeah.
If your request for asylum should go through, Pelus, I do look forward to having additional conversations and learning more about my grandmother's side of the family.
Knowledge.
In the meantime, I must take my leave.
And I will be glad to give you that when I see you next. Farewell.
And with that, leaving the quarters, I will basically march directly to the ready room.
Oh yeah, no. But at that point, I'm getting ready to file a report with Starfleet Command and contact the Admiralty.
So, chime at the ready room door.
Come in.
And come in and stand in front of the desk. Captain, Pelus has formally requested asylum with the Federation.
Thank God. I can put that in my report.
As I told him, I was prepared to suggest it as a course of action if he had not made the request himself.
Hell, I was going to talk to him about it. But I'm glad he came up with it on his own.
Indeed.
Alright,
I
so-
share your concern about Starfleet intelligence, Captain.
It's not so much Starfleet intelligence, it's what's lurking underneath it.
I worry that Section 31 may have an undue influence upon Starfleet intelligence. It is difficult to draw a line between a covert agency and an agency that pretends it does not exist.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredibly frustrating. Freaking bullshit.
By the way, I'm taking a momentum away for scene change.
Yep, no problem.
Gotcha.
So I've given it some thought. What I'm thinking is that we treat, since he's asked for asylum, we can treat Pelus as a foreign national. That means we're gonna keep him and his family's privileges at guest level. They're okay to visit any any civilian area of the ship, such as mess hall, one of the holodecks, whatever. But I do want a security escort with whoever's leaving the quarters at all times.
Understood, Captain. There's more.
Go ahead.
He has related to me that we are related.
Seems a bit of a stretch.
It is possible that he is attempting to parlay or maneuver some sort of advantage. However, he did have information about my maternal grandmother, who, to this point, we believed was missing.
A former operative of a foreign intelligence services dangles information in front of your reach.
I agree.
If you're truly concerned about this, obviously, I'm assuming Dr. Shair is going to give our guests a medical checkup. You might want to ask to see if there's any sort of genetic matches during that
Indeed.
process.
In the meantime, I suggest that I be recused from providing the security detail for the former Agent Pelus.
That's fine.
I'm just going to copy some stuff and put a what's the thing, the readout.
Right.
Like a pad?
Yeah, like a note.
Oh, like a
there we go.
handout. I don't know. A little too convenient then. We found Pelus as soon as Keegan led him to us. I'm still not entirely sure how the hell Pelus found this facility in the first place.
Unless Keegan fed its location to him.
It's possible. Probable, given the circumstances. And it explains why he sent us the information, given our prior history.
Indeed.
Although trying to turn him like that within view of everyone else is a little amateur hour.
It is bold and arrogant.
Yeah.
Both traits that we have seen from Keegan before. Perhaps something to keep in mind should we encounter Keegan in the future.
Seems like as long as he thinks he has the upper hand, he'll extend. If we can get him to stick his neck out more.
Perhaps overextend, indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone should have the Pelus family handout visible.
It's the Pelus family album, everybody.
There's 5 incredibly stern faces. All right.
I need a pronunciation guide.
Come on, it's Romulan. It's actually really easy. Well, for Romulan, anyway.
Alright, well. I still have to contact the Admiralty, so anything else, Commander?
No, sir.
Alright. You're dismissed.
And Safan just walks out.
And I will have to send my report to Starfleet Command about the circumstances.
Okay, so what is going to be in this report?
Oh, I'm going to contact him directly, considering the sensitive nature of the topic.
Okay, so you're not going to look up the diplomatic?
I'm saving that for later.
Okay.
It's not urgent enough that I'm going to take my time. I'm basically putting it off to the last possible moment.
Okay, so you start communications and get on to Admiral Hayes.
Admiral,
Captain, I take it you found something interesting?
we did. We came across Commander Pelus, formerly of the Tal Shair.
Yes, I had heard the Romulans had disavowed him regarding the events surrounding Usor.
Yeah. Bit of an interesting situation that he was on the station with his family, his wife and 3 children. We've brought him on board, and Pelus has officially requested political asylum.
You see, like a brow squiggle a bit as Hayes raises his hands to his face and just scratches the side of his cheek. There's nothing there, but it's sort of just a little physical tick thing that he does. Huh. And what is your recommendation regarding this, Captain?
Yeah, we give it wholeheartedly.
You've seen what he does, what happened on you saw first hand, and you still wish to give this man the benefit of the doubt?
Starfleet's all about second chances, sir. The man risked everything just to bring his family to safety.
You see a little, well, sort of like a tick saying, "Oh, well, there's that." It's sort of like just a slight head tit and a bit of a crinkle in the eye. Very well. This will have to go through a number of diplomatic things before we can grant that, but I will support your recommendation.
I also I'd also like to make another request. I understand that Starfleet Intelligence is going to want to question him, no matter the situation. I am going to strongly request that any interviews be conducted on board the Valkyrie.
Any interviews regarding, say, the Tal Shair current situation?
I'm sure they're going to have a lot they want to ask him, but I think it might be best if they ask him here on what could be considered a more neutral space.
They probably won't like that, Captain, but given your recent history, I am inclined to approve. Speaking of which, firstly, I will need to have your answer regarding the task force very soon, like within a number of hours. So if you can't give that to me now, then I will need that done. Otherwise, well. And secondly, I've actually received a request regarding our friends at Newsaw. A small group have, with the now Captain Carlos's permission, has requested permission to serve temporarily aboard the Valkyrie to get familiar with the Federation's policies, procedures, and how it operates in space. Seeing as they are not only warp capable, but leaning heavily on Federation assistance, they're deeming it necessary that they start understanding these processes so that future arrangements can be performed smoothly.
I do like the idea of having some SAR starts getting an idea of what Starfleet is like. I'm not entirely sure the Valkyrie is the best fit, considering the nature of our missions, especially lately. But if that is their first choice, I will welcome it.
Well, they've in fact been rather persistent, seeing it was particularly the Valkyrie that, well, basically saved their species. They see it as a a duty to pay back, at least in some small measure, the services that Valkyrie rendered to them.
Well, in the spirit of intergalactic cooperation and extending a hand to our neighbors, I will absolutely sign off on that.
Very well. I will look forward to hearing you shortly on that other matter.
I think I've come to a decision on that, actually.
Oh. And what would that be?
Given our original mandate as more of an exploratory vessel, I was indeed hesitant to place us on a task force that would keep us within Federation territory. But there's no denying we have a certain skill set that would be very beneficial for the kind of work this task force would embark on. I'm not
We
entirely
have a
sold.
very particular set of skills.
Yes, basically. I'm personally not entirely sold that the war with Dominion is inevitable. But better safe than sorry. So I will agree to our assignment to the task force.
Very well. Even if the war with the Dominion is not inevitable, it will at least calm fears to have someone such as the Valkyrie around. Defending
One
them.
board cube, and suddenly everybody wants you.
Well, such is the price of fame, Captain, unfortunately. So I will start the processes now for assigning you to this response team.
Task force.
Task
Yeah,
force.
response team. Yeah.
And I look forward to hearing you in the near future.
Very well.
Haze out. And the screen goes dark.
I gotta change that end call sound.
That's the old Earth pronunciation for a period.
Oh, Victor Borger.
And with that done, I guess I can finally get around to opening up that diplomatic urgent email from Delphi.
Okay, so I'm going to. This is a. I'm going to share it with everyone, even though it's. Everyone should read that. Does everyone have that? Or does?
It hasn't come to me.
Okay. So I'll just double check the.
Yeah.
Click show to all.
Yeah.
Sometimes show all doesn't work on handouts. You have to actually manually go in and make it visible to everyone and then hit show.
So that wasn't visible to everyone, so that's why it wasn't.
Yeah, I'm not reading it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it is visible
There it
to
is.
everyone, and everyone should see it. So I'm not going to. I'm going to put it back up on the screen for.
From the Office of Public Relations,
Thank you for contacting the Royal Delphinian House. Your call is very important to us.
So
Unless your name is Ted.
Prince Tato Chesko, Alumbra Kozeski, Umberkesk of House Wolfantris, fourth heir to the throne of Delphi. The Queen has elected to personally write the following response to your query. Holy shit. Not worrying about the terseness of your query, I can unequivocally state that there were many reasons involved for the use of your image in relation to the approved by proof of the Defending and Starfleet public announcement. These reasons include getting the name of Delphi out there to promote educational, trade, political power, and tourism among the rest of the Federation member states. And their response has already been strong, especially among younger people. So, meme status. In addition is provided as a message to the people of Delphi that there is also a place for us within the broader galactic community to enjoy our comfort zones. But there is so much more available to us if we should just seek out these opportunities. You are the perfect example of that. However, primarily this advertisement was designed as a lesson for you. You have voluntarily joined Starfleet, a choice of career we would like to encourage you in continuing to pursue. This career has rights, yes, but primarily consists of duties and responsibilities to those you have pledged to serve. The House of Wolfantris has similar duties and responsibilities to the people of Delphi, responsibilities that your mother chose to ignore and attempted to abandon.
Shit.
These duties and responsibilities are not so easy to abandon as either of you might have thought. Even now, you are known and held in regard within Delphi and within Starfleet and the Federation as a member of House of Volvantris. You represent yourself, you represent Delphi, you represent the House of Volvantris, and on top of all your other jobs and roles, you have failed to come to us on your own, even when prompted by raising your status within the family, and only now, when it has impacted you directly, have you returned to seek clarification. These duties and responsibilities exist and have a real impact on things outside your world, and thus we have taken drastic measures to ensure you understand the seriousness of your situation. And for specific regard to the use of your image, it is not legally owned by you. As a member of the Royal Definian House, all likenesses are owned by the people and thus are free to be used by the state on their behalf without direct permission by the person involved. However, should things become too crass, then there are always means available to the current ruling monarch should it become necessary. Even after everything, we are still a family. A family who have our own unique problems and issues, both between each other and with the outside world, but a family nonetheless. Should you be so inclined to accept, I offer you and the crew of the Valkyrie a formal royal request to visit Delphi. Perhaps this could be the start of dealing with some of these issues and open a dialogue so that less drastic measures will be needed in the future to gain your attention. Her Royal Highness, Grandmother Volvantris.
Man, what a bitch.
Good lord.
Later, Ted in the holodeck. Let it burn, let it burn.
Ted is surprisingly
Burn
intimidated by the
everything
nature.
to the ground.
Ted is surprisingly intimidated by the nature of the letter.
I'm intimidated by that. That's the kind of crap the fan is against. That's A+ writing, man.
That was fantastic, yeah, but holy shit. Like, this is the first time someone's really been able to speak with him on that kind of level and read him. Holy shit.
Read him for filth.
Yeah. That's scary.
Yeah.
It's going to take a moment to process this.
Little hourglasses going on behind his eyes.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, Ted basically got beaten with a sandal from 35 light years away.
Basically. Stupid.
Who even knew Delphinians had sandals?
That makes sense. Wow. Then Ted's going to pull open an intership memo and send out another request to Lorraine for a therapy session.
That hopefully won't be interrupted by Keegan.
Mm-hmm. And to just stare off into space for a while and wonder what he's making of his life.
Alright, does anyone else have any other scenes that they want to do?
So after briefing all the security people, engineering people, so we got some Romulans on board. Maybe don't let them, start crawling around the Jeffries tubes. Start playing with the wires. Watch you work. Hang out on the flight deck, etc., 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 and giving our new assistant chief engineer an attaboy for beaming everyone back so expertly. Bringing a bottle of tequila up to Ted.
Okay, so does the ready room door open automatically, or do you have to
I ring.
ring? So you hear the chime notifying that someone at the door wanting to come in.
There's a bit of a pause where you hear kind of a come in.
Immediately, like, advanced kitty ears going, huh? When is he ever like that? And walk in.
You know, Ted's sitting with his back to you, staring out of the viewport into space. He's sitting in the chair.
Oh, that's not good.
What's up, Commander?
Well, I figured you might want this. Family issues and all that. Prop the bottle down on the desk.
Family issues. Huh.
Oh, there's the episode title, by the way.
Mm,
Huh.
how bad is it?
Ted grabs a pad, taps a few buttons on it, puts the letter on it, and passes it over without looking over.
Reads it for a couple minutes and then repeats what I said earlier. What a bitch!
Just, I mean, Jesus Christ.
No offense, this concerns me. And I don't just mean because of you. This is... The Federation Council lets them get away with this?
I mean, it's just me that they're screwing with.
You're a private citizen. You haven't chose to be raised in that culture. You haven't spent your time, as far as I know, working to become a prince.
It's a murky issue. I've looked into it.
Just puts the pad down and then flops in the chair across the desk from you.
This is the first time I felt like someone has read me on a personal level. And just outplayed me.
Politicians will do that.
Yeah, it's just... I don't know. I guess in a way I feel humbled. And terrified.
Don't let it intimidate you. And I'm speaking from experience there. No matter what your family wants you to be, your choices are yours. And if they feel like they're not, screw them. Because they are yours.
I guess I could just resign from Starfleet right now. Really show it to her.
Don't do that.
Sign up on some garbage scow.
What good would you be on a garbage scow? That's a waste of talent.
I just really have no idea how to handle this.
The only thing that I can say that she is right about, you're a leader, Ted. Maybe it's... Oh, you are. Don't even bother with the laugh after. Look at the crew you've been assigned. You've managed to keep them from killing each other. Keep them from killing other people. Lord knows how Safan is with the weapon systems on this ship.
I think you'd need one of the phases after the doctor.
Look,
I could have sworn I heard him talking about him once. If you find anything when you're doing maintenance, if you find anything with the name Kalani scratched into it, you might want to let me know.
That's not him. It'll be written... If he did do that, it would probably be just written into the computer code, in which case I'll find it, like, tomorrow. But you have managed to keep this whole group together. But that doesn't make you anything other than a captain. This is where you belong.
I hope so, because it just feels like ever since I got promoted, I've just been way out of my depth.
Ted, last week we fought the Borg and didn't take a single casualty. You are far from out of your depth.
That was pure luck, and you know it. And Alvarado apparently showing some amazing self-preservation skills.
The difference between being good and being lucky is there is no difference.
You don't believe in luck?
I believe luck is what determines whether or not we're good. It can always fall apart due to one thing. The best are always the luckiest.
I mean, she is right, though, about one thing. In addition to the leader part.
And that is?
That the duties and responsibilities exist and have a real impact on things outside my world. I have to stop thinking so insular. Just me, just the ship. We have a real effect on what's out there. I mean, hell, I just contacted by the Admiralty. The SAR want to put a couple of probationary officers on board.
And the fact that you're framing it that way is exactly how you should be doing it. If it was up to her, it would be about how this is for Delphi and for the royal family. But that's not what you're about. You're about people, everyone, all of us, and making a better galaxy.
I try.
And that's all we can do. We try. Sometimes we succeed. More often than not, we don't. And that's life.
You think I should talk to her?
Yes, but I would say maybe wait until your state is stronger. And maybe preface that with a lot of meditation and therapy beforehand.
I wanted to try therapy, but I am terrible at meditation.
Okay, then a couple of rounds in the holodeck. I've got the latest update for a certain holo program we both enjoy.
Oh, that popped?
Mm-hmm. I figured beating up a few giant robots should do the trick.
That would be pretty nice, yeah. Maybe after I deal with this whole Pelus situation and I have to go see Rin and apologize again.
I think Rin will accept your apology. Pelus, I'm not so sure.
Oh, Pelus isn't getting an apology. We did nothing wrong. But I did offer him my protection and I intend to keep it.
And that's what makes you one of the good ones.
Yeah. Anything else? Anything I need to be aware of?
Oh, nothing. Just CAD engineering, get prepared for, just in case we have a little Romulan incursion into the computers. But I more just want to make sure you are alright.
I don't know about right, but I'm treading water.
Well, if you need someone to pull you out of it, I'm here.
Yeah, maybe when we're off duty tonight.
Sounds good.
Alright.
Take
Get out of
care.
here, I gotta finish this report.
Yeah, I gotta go fix something. I'm sure something's broken somewhere.
Yeah, you getting rid of those gremlins yet?
Well, no, they're just our crew.
Alright, yeah.
And Mazaka leaves.
Alrighty. So what's next?
Well, the gremlins eat the ship, and then we just have to kill them all, and it's a problem because one of them are dead.
This is why you don't feed them after midnight.
Which is a problem when you have replicators.
And when it's dark outside all the time.
That's true. We never know when it's past midnight. It's past midnight everywhere. Baz, you there?
It's always past midnight somewhere.
Oh no.
Usually in Australia.
It's after midnight.
Alright, so with that scene, I'm going to deduct another momentum. Did you want to do your Pelus scene now, Ted, or was there something else that needs to be done?
I would like to squeeze an obsession with Loren before I go see Palace.
Alright.
Probably
So
cut to a... Alright, go ahead.
What is Loren doing right now?
Loren is currently sitting in his office, playing a game of 3-tiered Chinese checkers. Fine.
Is it 3 different standard checkers boards with each different stuff, or is it more like 3D chess but 3D checkers?
3D chess, but checkers.
Okay.
And Chinese checkers at that.
Oh, that's right. It's not. Okay.
It's going to be a ring on his office door.
He doesn't look up, but he come in.
Shh. Lieutenant?
Oh, Captain, and he'll stand up from behind his desk. Can I help you?
Yeah, I would like to come here and formally apologize for missing another session date.
Apology accepted, but I'm pretty sure you had a valid excuse.
Yeah, for this one, not for the other 3.
No, but no, you didn't.
And I wanted to know if you were able to squeeze in some time today or sometime soon.
I'm free right now. I don't have anyone coming to see me for the next couple of hours.
Oh, right. And
And all
Ted's
I'm
going to really
doing-
walk over to like a chair or like a couch or something and sit down.
You can just see the 2 corners here, but there's like a ring of green, very soft sofas or chairs sitting there around around the table.
Okay.
It's the spill your gut circle.
He's going to sit in one kind of on the edge. Kind of his hands on his knees and going to go...
And,
Oh, right.
Ren will go sit opposite him.
All right, I have not had one of these since the academy, so we'll see how this goes.
The academy? How many of these have you actually not gone to?
Well, I mean, there was the Tiberius when I got stabbed. There was the Amazon. It was right after Roll 359. I don't know, like 6 or 7.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that as a medical professional.
All right.
So, what brings you up here today?
Okay, so I assume you probably know about my old family situation at this point.
Some of it, yes, not all of it. There's
Yeah.
only so much in.
Well, they're assholes. And and my grandmother, who apparently is the current queen of Delphi, is an extremely politically intelligent individual. And I am feeling incredibly manipulated by a woman I've never met.
And also is who you got the assholishness.
She's the queen of the assholes.
No, I'm just
How
imagining
many souls we got on this ship anyway?
that exact scene from.
Okay. So your grandmother is a horrible person. Most of your family are horrible. And yet, so far from what I've seen of you as a captain, maybe a little unstable, but by far you're probably one of the better captains I've seen.
I mean, I've been called worse. Thank you.
I'm pretty sure I could call you worse, but you haven't given me reason to.
Let's see, that is the little Pella situation. Oh, I should tell you, I did sleep with him, so that's an issue.
Wait, you slept with Pelus?
Not Pella, sorry, Keegan. That's completely in character. Ted is flustered.
Oh, okay. You slept with a Section 31 operative who tried to recruit you.
Well, I didn't know he was Section 31 at the time. At the time, he was posing as a surfer instructor on Ryza.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna sleep with some random person anywhere, Rise is the place to do it.
I know, right? It's just like all over.
Okay, well, that's fairly manipulative. Fairly manipulative, and honestly, not a bad recruitment scheme.
Yeah. But I kind of definitely feel like that my bad situations are starting to pile up and compile, and I don't want my mistakes to put the crew in danger.
How is being tricked by a basic spy by sleeping with him your fault after he tried to recruit you? How's that your
Well,
I just want to say, I love the. Now I'm just going to call Keegan a basic bitch from now on. Thank you for that.
Well, I feel like I probably should have read the signs. I mean, we're trained for counter-espionage, especially command staff.
Yes, but if what you told me about this group, Section 31, is anything true, then there's no way you would know. I mean, you thought I was Section 31.
Yeah, I did. Sideways glance.
Still not Section 31, but I will understand your hesitance.
Like, I get the logical answer, but as you can tell, I'm a passionate person,
That's easy to see, yes.
and I still feel like I should have known better. Especially considering Zaka's feelings, which I am now finally understanding and reciprocating, trying to.
Mm. Were you aware of those feelings before you went to Ryza?
I had ideas, he wasn't exactly subtle.
Then what led to the situation that ended up with you and a spy in bed, if you were aware of those feelings?
At the time, I wasn't particularly interested in starting a relationship with a member of my crew, especially someone on my senior staff.
I see.
I just had not been with anyone since I had promoted to captain, and I needed to blow off some steam.
That's completely understandable. And even though you hadn't had anyone to be with after all that, and you still had that, you acknowledge the feelings for Mazaka, yet you still feel that it's completely and utterly your fault that you ended up not seeing supposed signs from this Keegan person.
Basically.
You know that moment earlier where you said I could call you worse? I don't. You're kind of an idiot. You know that, right?
I mean,
You're an idiot, sir.
Oh no, we are in my domain. I am.
Get off my ass, sir.
I mean, I've been called many things, but not an idiot.
There will always be those situations for you as a captain where you will not know what's going on. You won't be able to read all the signs, if there are any signs. This was a highly trained, and from what I saw and have been able to piece together from a profile, this man is highly intelligent. He has probably seen and done things neither of us can think of or comprehend, and you're feeling guilty because you slept with him and didn't realize it, that he was a very bad man.
I mean, I guess I should probably just walk away from the situation because there's not much I can do about it.
I mean, learning from the situation would be a good thing. Wallowing in self-pity and doubt is the stupid thing. Also,
Damn, now he's
you
getting
might
read by his counselor.
you might realize by now I'm not your average counselor.
I mean, who is average on this ship?
As far as I've seen, nobody. And that's what makes this an exceptional ship.
I mean, read of that or a ship of misfits.
Even better.
Yeah.
The freaks are more fun.
Yeah, I think I like this better. You know, right before she cast off, I actually applied for a position on the Enterprise D.
Did you?
Yeah, I was lieutenant, junior grade at the time. Actually, no, I would have been. No, it was senior lieutenant. Still,
Why did you apply to the Enterprise?
because it's the Enterprise.
Very clearly an unimpressed look on Loren's face.
It's a prestige position. If you served aboard the Enterprise, you basically get your pick of assignments afterwards,
Ah,
and you get to say you served on board the Enterprise.
well, as interesting as that can be, I'm serving aboard the Valkyrie, and I think that's much better than the Enterprise.
Now, why do you say that?
Let's see, I've only been here for a few months now, and already dealing with super spies and intelligence agencies. Learning about, was part of and witnessed bits of a secret past life ritual. Was accused of being a part of the said horrible organization that's doing bad things. And I've also met two of the 5 people who I looked up to while I was in the academy.
Really?
I think I'm doing
Ted
pretty
Cox
well.
said a little bit.
Yes, really, Captain.
I mean, I'm gonna wonder who those are now.
Well, one is Lieutenant Commander Mazaka.
Yeah, I could see that. Given your engineering background, I could see how you could absolutely. Yeah, man knows how to write a paper and build a starship.
And the other one was you, Captain.
Huh?
The blankest of blank faces.
Basically. Me?
Yes.
All right, I want to know how you justify this.
So all the I've read a lot of the papers and theses that you have had published, and a lot of them got me very interested in things that I wasn't interested in before. You made them interesting. You basically made things interesting. You took my scope outside of just counseling. You and the lieutenant commander both.
Huh. Huh. I mean, I'll also be surprised. I didn't expect anyone outside of certain circles to actually be reading my papers, let alone know they exist.
You'd be surprised, sir.
Well, well, thank you. I don't think I've lived up to your expectation, but thank you for the acknowledgement all the same.
You have, and I'm pretty sure you'll continue to live up to the expectations and possibly surpass.
Oh, boy, we'll see.
Just don't be an idiot.
Get out of here, Iris. You're not here.
Yeah, our session's not till later.
I mean, as soon as I start feeling down my depth, I'm sure, yeah. Being captain is amazing, but also it's freaking terrifying.
I can imagine. You've got a lot of responsibility that's just resting on your shoulders, a whole shitful.
Yeah. 567 souls.
Mm-hmm. And you being you, also somewhat of a giant planet as well.
Don't talk to me about Delphi. I gotta communicate with Delphi. I've not even been to Delphi. It's this freaking planet covered in water and crystals or some bullshit. And it's just, I've never even been there, and they're so entangled in my life.
I mean, do you want them to be a part of your life?
Ted kind of phrases up the question and actually gives it some serious thought. I don't know. It's been incredibly easy to just think of them as some kind of antagonistic force. I mean, my mother's never had anything kind to say about the royal family, and when my father still talks to people over there, I don't think he's gone to Delphi in maybe 10 years. I don't know. I've always just considered myself an Alpha Centauri boy.
Well, yeah, that is where you're from, where you were raised, but have you ever been curious about where they came from, about Delphi and the people there?
I mean, I've read about it.
Have you ever wanted to go experience it, though? Reading is one thing.
I don't know. On one hand, there's a curiosity, and the other hand, there's part of me that just wants to stay as far away as possible.
That's completely understandable. From the sounds of it, the royal family is probably just as dangerous as these Section 31 people are.
Oh
and
my
yet,
god. Yeah.
And yet, they're still family.
Sometimes family isn't always what's cracked up to be.
No, it's not. I can definitely agree with you on that. Family is messy, unpredictable, chaotic, but it's also a good thing. They can make you happy, or they can end your entire universe.
Yeah. And I say at this point the session goes on, but they're just kind of getting into idle shit. More just kind of deep talking.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like a good place to end the scene.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, Steph.
Steph just listening in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just heard someone pop in, and I thought it was Steph. But
Yep, they're just listening. Alrighty, so on to you, Baz.
It's not unmuting. There we go. So either Safan or Ted, you can shoot depending on who wants to go first.
let Don
Pelus.
go first.
okay, I'm going to ring the buzzer for Pelus's quarters.
So you're at the door.
Yeah, with a Vulcan lute. Don't worry, there's no serenading involved.
Okay, so you hear come in. It's Pelus. Oh, Ruvak.
Okay. I enter, brandishing the lute.
You see Pelus and his wife just basically just looking after the kids. They organizing a meal, a private family meal, and just having a personal, quiet conversation. Things have just gone weird for them, so they're just having that quiet time, and Pelus just nods at you silently and beckons you over.
I wish to offer a gift. A lute from Vulcan. It is from my father's side of the family. Do not know if anyone in your family is inclined toward music, but I have found a surprisingly easy instrument to learn to play.
Thank you. He takes it, looks at it. I do not quite know what to do with it, but thank you for sharing this with us.
Safan nods. Are you familiar with the Romulan known as Aladar Jarak?
You're going to have to refresh the DM on that one.
He was in the TNG episode The Defector.
Oh, okay. I've definitely heard of him, yes.
Then you know that as a Romulan who is requesting asylum, you will face significant skepticism and doubt.
That is, yes, something I have expected.
I will confess to some skepticism of my own. As a Vulcan, I have learned over my many years not to trust easily. However, I shall make the attempt.
He sorts of smiles as you talk about as you admit to the skepticism.
With that having been said, we must both be aware of the possibility that the Tal Shair or Section 31 have planned for exactly this scenario. The Tal Shair used Aladar Jarak, ultimately costing him his life. I would not see them exploit another Romulan in such a manner.
That ended how I ended up where I ended up. We needed to get out as far as we could from the Tal Shair's reach. We couldn't trust anyone lest the Tal Shair find us, find our signal, get to our contacts. We had to basically steal a vessel to leave. And yes, technically we broke the neutral zone.
Broke the what?
Broke the neutral zone by entering a Romulan vessel through it. But we just needed to find somewhere, anywhere. I knew the briar patch was somewhere where communications and sensors were limited, but being inside the briar patch, that felt a bit too obvious at the same time. As if you were going to be somewhere to hide, you would hide in a place where no one can find you. That's how I ended up on the system I did. We could still use the briar patch as a shield, but not in such an obvious way. And
if I may ask, and feel free to not answer, were you aware of the installation you discovered through Tal Shair intelligence, or was it an accidental discovery?
we didn't realize it was there until we stumbled across it. We were
see.
looking for something, a place that we could, anywhere that we could hold up. We had some life support facilities that we could set up a force field and keep a small area presence, but that would take a long time to set up and prepare. Whereas we thought we were lucky to find the base, but when we tried to start it up just to get the life support working, well, let's just say it caused some problems.
That is an understatement worthy of a Vulcan. And again, a small smirk from Safan.
Well, you've been exploring your Romulan heritage. It's, I suppose, only fitting that I also just explore Vulcan, since it seems that, well, you know.
I know it is too early to draw conclusions, but it is not too early to hope. Are you aware of the Vulcan Ambassador Spock?
I am.
Then you are aware of his desire for reunification between the Vulcan and Romulan peoples.
And Pelus just thought out of a little chuckle. Yes, I am aware.
Is it something you believe we might accomplish in our lifetime? Or do you see it as a worthy goal?
It has honestly until recently been something that I haven't even thought of. But ironically, it was what your grandmother was attempting to do, though in a more Tal Shair kind of way.
Indeed, I suspect that Tal Shair's motives behind reunification are somewhat less generous.
Well, it was more getting the Vulcan people to think along Romulan lines than I suppose, true unification. The joining of two separate things to become a new whole. But
If you are amenable, I would look forward to discussing this further at another time.
you are always welcome. And he
And
sort
with that,
of does his own imitation of like a Vulcan smile. Tries to Vulcan smile you back.
and Safan just kind of nods and leaves the chamber or quarters.
All right, so I guess it's quickly wrap up. What does Ted have to have with Palace? I will get rid of another momentum.
Ask him to come to the mess hall after hours. Once it's been more quiet.
All right.
It specifically ask, not demand. It's an invitation, not a request.
He accepts he communicates, he responds that he will be there.
All right.
And so as
Yeah, probably when Pelus is brought in by a security officer, he'll see Ted sitting by a table next to the big bay windows looking out into space.
Palace just sort of nods at the security officer and sort of makes his way slowly to the table and takes a seat.
So what do I call you? Commander? Pelus? I mean, do you want to be known as Ruvak?
Ruvak is fine. It is Palace is my family name, so it is a bit, shall we say, confusing with my entire family here. And I am no longer a commander, nor do I want to be, so Ruvak.
Yeah. I've spoken with Starfleet Command. At least the Admiralty at least is amenable to your request, but it's like we're going to have to go through a couple diplomatic channels. There's going to be some. It's going to need to be approved by the Federation Council, but I would hedge my bets that they're probably going to approve your request for asylum.
Thank you for your assistance in this, Captain. We definitely did not get off on the right foot, but
Yeah, no, you threw rocks at innocent people, so don't think I haven't forgotten.
no, I have not forgotten any of our incursions, and still, thank you.
I also tried to head him off at the pass. Starfleet Intelligence is still going to want to interview you, probably for general security concerns or whatever it is they can pump out at you in terms of the Tal Shair. But as far as it stands, you're only going to be allowed to be interviewed while on board the Valkyrie. They're not going to pull you into some black site or something and disappear you for the rest of your life.
I am more concerned that to get the Romulans involved in the little war, the Dominion, that Starfleet would be willing to hand me back over. But,
That's not how we operate.
and I will have to put my trust in you before that. And just as much as you and your crew and the Federation will have to put trust in my own intentions.
I did wanted to ask you. How much did you have to give up, sacrifice to get here?
There was only one thing I could not sacrifice. And that was my family. Everything else is gone, destroyed, was if it was never existed.
Basically burned every bridge you had, huh?
They want to kill me, Captain. They want to make me an example of what happens when you fail. I failed, and my family was at risk, and I just couldn't allow that. So here we are.
Yeah. Me helping out someone who I bars. Because the circumstances change. And this universe we live in is apparently freaking crazy.
You'll have no... I concur with you on that one. It is quite strange.
I can't promise that Keegan won't try to get at you again. He's persistent and intelligent and ruthless.
I am capable of dealing with Keegan. I was.
I need to tell you that Keegan is not Starfleet intelligence.
Oh, he was definitely involved somehow with the station I found.
Is the Tal Shair aware of any sort of additional covert activities being conducted by the Federation?
There's rumors, but nothing concrete, as I believe the humans say, which...
Yeah. They're criminals. They're not sanctioned because if they were, well, they wouldn't be sanctioned. We would have them arrested and thrown into prison after a fair trial. I know it's difficult sometimes to understand, but we are not the Romulans, we're not the Cardassians, we're not the Klingons. A weird entity that espouses democracy and liberty, and it's just... A lot of people on the block don't seem to understand that we don't really have an ulterior motive. At least I don't.
And that is why I've put my trust in you, Captain. Because, for once, I believe that, and now I just... Well, we'll just see if that is correct. With all of the Federation.
I hope so. Just one last question, because it's beginning itching at me. Why attack New Star in the first place? I don't see any strategic value with an attack on a species that was incredibly new to the galactic scene. They literally just discovered FTL weeks before we got there.
It wasn't the Tsar themselves that were the question. It was the Federation involvement. The attack wasn't... It was never my intent to destroy them. It was my intent to question whether the engagement with the Federation would bring more trouble than it was worth. If I wanted to destroy them, I wouldn't have tried while the Valkyrie was there. I wouldn't have attacked one at a time to give the Valkyrie a chance to defend. I would have just lay waste. Of course, now that that failed as the Thor didn't see it in those ways. They saw the Federation as once again defending them in a dangerous world, dangerous galaxy, and it just enforced the Thor's ties to the Federation instead of weakening them.
That's how espionage works when you screw up.
Well, it was a It was a miscalculation on the nature of the soul rather than any actual screw up. The plan would have worked, but
If it wasn't for you meddling kids.
I do not understand what you're getting at, Captain.
Old Earth reference, never mind. Alright, that's just what's been nagging on me. And now that I had your ear, I thought it was time to ask.
Very well, Captain. If you have need of me again, or it's time for my intelligence debriefing, then let me know.
Yeah, I'll know where to find you.
So sort of nods his head and then may I be excused.
Yeah.
And just gets up and heads back to the guard and just sort of starts walking back to his quarters. And
Let's
that's
take a moment.
no.
Drum a little bit on the table. Look back out into space. Oh, I have a holodeck date to keep. So walk out of the scene.
And that's where we're going to have to leave it for today.